A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That simple phrase carries a world of meaning. Because leadership, true leadership, isn't about control, titles, or applause. It's about responsibility. It's about rising first, staying late, and carrying the weight that others avoid. It's about becoming the kind of person others want to follow, not because they have to, but because they're inspired to. In a world full of noise, distraction, and uncertainty, we don't need more people shouting commands. We need more people who lead with clarity, conviction, and character. And here's the truth. Leadership is not a gift reserved for the few. It's a skill, a mindset, and a decision. A decision you can make today. Whether you're leading a team, a business, a classroom, a family, or simply leading yourself, this message is for you. Because before you can ever lead others effectively, you must first learn how to lead your own life with purpose, courage, and discipline. The great leaders we admire didn't wait for the perfect moment. They stepped forward, even when they didn't feel ready. They made choices that shaped their character. They took risks, they failed, they learned, and they grew stronger with each step. Leadership is earned, not given, and it begins within. Today I'm going to walk you through the powerful principles that can help you become a truly great leader. Wherever you are in life, stay with me for the next few minutes as I share the tools, the mindset, and the examples that can transform the way you lead. Let's dive in. Number 1, leadership begins with leading yourself. Before you can ever lead a team, a company, a community, or even a family, you must first learn to lead yourself. That's where leadership really begins. Because if you can't manage your own time, your own habits, your own attitude, how can you expect to guide someone else? Great leadership doesn't start with shouting orders. It starts with quiet discipline. It's waking up when the alarm rings, not when you feel like it. It's showing up with consistency, doing the work, even on the days when no one's watching. Leadership is about keeping promises, especially the ones you make to yourself. If you tell yourself you'll write every day, read every week, improve every month, you better follow through. Why? Because if you don't respect your own word, why would anyone else? Take Denzel Washington, for example. Known for his professionalism and grounded nature, he's not just a world-class actor, he's a man of discipline. Behind the scenes, he lives by routine. He keeps his circle tight, his principles clear, and his standards high. That's self-leadership. That's what earns respect, long before a title does. You don't need to have everything figured out to start. You just need to take responsibility. Be honest with yourself. Where are you slipping? What needs attention? What habits are leading you away from the person you want to become? Fix those. Because people don't follow perfection. They follow someone who's real, someone who's growing, someone who's walking the path, not just talking about it. Remember this, leadership is not just about getting people to follow you, it's about setting the kind of example they can model. It's not just being in charge. It's being in control of your attitude, your reactions, your time, and your choices. That's the first step to earning influence. So if you want to lead others, start with yourself. Master the basics, show discipline, practice daily habits, and develop the mindset of a person who shows up, rain or shine. Because when you can lead yourself with consistency, you've already become someone worth following. Number 2, the power of vision. See beyond the now. Every great leader begins with a vision. Something bigger than themselves. Something that pulls them forward when the path gets hard. Vision is not just about where you are. It's about where you're going. And more importantly, it's about why you're going there. You see, the present can sometimes be overwhelming. Bills, deadlines, responsibilities, and distractions can cloud your mind and weigh you down. But vision is what lifts you up. It allows you to rise above the daily noise and see a picture of what could be. It gives meaning to the struggle. It gives you direction when life gets confusing. It's like a lighthouse in a storm, steady, clear, and full of purpose. Think about Walt Disney. Long before the first theme park, long before Mickey Mouse became a cultural icon, Walt had a vision. He dreamed of a place where families could have fun together, where imagination had no boundaries, where children and adults alike could escape the ordinary. But let's be honest, he had every reason to quit. He faced bankruptcies, rejections, and ridicule. People said he was crazy. But Walt didn't listen. Why? Because his vision was louder than the critics. That's what great leaders do. They see it before it's real. They believe in it when no one else does. They hold the picture in their mind so clearly that it starts to become reality. Now here's the truth. Most people don't lack motivation. They lack vision. They wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. They live by routine, not by design. But you have a choice. You can live with intention. You can define your vision. What do you want your life to look like? What kind of person do you want to be? What impact do you want to have on the world around you? Don't wait for clarity to find you. Go out and create it. When your vision is strong enough, your excuses disappear. You no longer ask, do I feel like it today? You ask, is this taking me closer to the life I want? That's how leaders think. They filter their actions through the lens of their vision. If it moves them forward, they do it. If it distracts them, they eliminate it. But don't confuse vision with fantasy. Vision requires work. It demands action. It's not just about dreaming, it's about building. The difference between a leader and a dreamer is that leaders put their dreams on a schedule. They make a plan. They set goals. They write it down. They speak it into existence because they know what gets written gets remembered, and what gets remembered gets acted on. The beauty of vision is that it evolves. The vision you start with isn't the one you'll end with, and that's okay. Growth brings clarity. As you lead, as you take action, as you stumble and learn, your vision will sharpen. It's like a photograph coming into focus. What matters is that you begin, that you dare to look beyond your current circumstances and imagine something better. You don't need anyone's permission to dream big. You don't need everyone to believe in it. You just need to believe in it enough to begin. That's the heartbeat of leadership. Seeing the invisible and doing the impossible. Holding tight to what matters most, even when the results are far away. So if you're serious about becoming a great leader, stop living only for today. Start living for the future you're building. Write your vision. Speak your vision. Live your vision. Because when your life has purpose, your actions gain power. And when your actions are backed by vision, you become unstoppable. That's the power of vision. It pulls you out of comfort. It lifts you out of excuses. And it drives you into the life you were meant to lead. Number 3, communicate with clarity and purpose. Leadership without communication is like a ship without a compass, lost, drifting, and eventually forgotten. Great leaders don't just have a vision. They know how to communicate it clearly, consistently, and with conviction. They understand that words carry weight. Every phrase, every conversation, every message has the potential to influence, inspire, and ignite change. Communication is not about talking more. It's about saying the right things in the right way. It's about making people feel seen, heard, and understood. When you speak, do people lean in or do they tune out? That's a question every aspiring leader must ask themselves. Let's look at an example that captures the power of purposeful communication. Barack Obama. Regardless of where anyone stands politically, few can deny his ability to connect with people through words. His speeches were more than information. They were inspiration. He had a way of speaking directly to people's hearts, making complex ideas simple and difficult conversations feel honest and human. That's the art of leadership communication. Now, you don't need to be a world-class orator to lead, but you do need to speak with intention. Too many people talk to impress when they should be speaking to connect. True leadership is not about big words. It's about real ones. It's about being authentic. People can smell fate from a mile away. They may not always agree with you, but they'll respect you if you're real with them. Great communicators do something most people don't. They listen. They don't just wait for their turn to talk. They actually hear what others are saying. They listen to understand, not just to respond. And because they listen well, they speak even better. Their words come from a place of understanding, not assumption. If you want to lead, you must master both sides of communication, speaking and listening. Learn to read the room. Learn to ask questions that go beyond surface level. And most importantly, learn to pause. Silence, when used wisely, is one of the most powerful tools in communication. It gives others space to think and gives your words more impact when you do speak. Now let's talk about clarity. The confused mind doesn't follow. If your message is unclear, your team will be uncertain, your goals will be misunderstood, and your influence will fade. Make it simple. Make it strong. And make it stick. Say it in a way that even a child could understand. Because true intelligence is not proven by complexity. It's proven by clarity. Purpose is the other half. What are you trying to accomplish when you speak? Is it to motivate, to teach, to correct, to unify? Know your intent before you open your mouth. That's what separates accidental leaders from intentional ones. Every word should serve the mission. Every message should build trust, and every conversation should bring people closer to the vision. As a leader, people watch you, even when you're not speaking. Your tone, your expression, your posture, those things speak louder than your words. If your actions contradict your message, people won't remember what you said, they'll remember what you did. That's why your communication has to be consistent with your values, your behavior, and your beliefs. And let's not forget courage. Sometimes leadership means having tough conversations. It means saying what needs to be said, not what people want to hear. It means correcting without crushing and confronting without condemning. That's not easy, but it's necessary. Because leadership isn't about being liked, it's about being trusted. And trust is built through truth. So if you want to elevate your leadership, elevate your communication, speak less, but mean more. Listen deeply. Be clear, be real, and be intentional. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You need to be honest. You need to care, and you need to speak from a place that reflects your values and vision. Great leaders use their voice to build, not break, to lift, not limit, to guide, not control. So start paying attention to how you speak. Choose your words carefully, deliver them with purpose, and let your message be a mirror of your mission. Because when your words align with your actions and your message reflects your heart, you won't just be a speaker, you'll be a leader worth following. Number 4, decision-making. Own the consequences. At the heart of leadership lies one unavoidable responsibility: decision-making. The ability to choose, to act, and to own the consequences of those choices. That's what separates leaders from the crowd. A real leader doesn't wait for perfect conditions. They don't hide behind indecision. They step forward, weigh the options, make the call, and take full responsibility for what comes next. The truth is, most people avoid decision-making because it comes with risk. It comes with the possibility of being wrong. But leadership isn't about always being right. It's about being willing to act when it matters most. Indecision delays progress. It breeds doubt, both in the leader and in the people they lead. A team can handle a wrong decision better than no decision at all. Because with a decision, there's at least direction. Without it, there's only confusion. Let's take the story of Rosa Parks. She didn't have a title. She wasn't wealthy, but she made a decision. A quiet, firm, deliberate decision to stay seated. And that decision became a spark that ignited a movement. She didn't plan to become a symbol of courage. She simply acted from conviction. That's leadership. It's not always about standing on a stage. Sometimes it's about standing your ground. Now, you may not be called to lead a revolution, but every day you're faced with decisions that shape your character, your direction, and your influence. What time you wake up, how you respond under pressure, whether you follow through on your commitments. All of these choices define your leadership. One of the most important things a leader must understand is that decisions are not always about knowing what's right. They're about choosing what's best with the information you have. You won't always be certain, but certainty is not a prerequisite for action. Courage is. Leaders learn to live with the weight of uncertainty and still move forward. They trust their preparation, their principles, and their instincts. But here's what truly sets great leaders apart. They take ownership. When things go wrong, they don't point fingers. They don't blame the weather, the team, or the economy. They say, "This was my call. This is my responsibility." That kind of ownership earns respect, because anyone can take credit when things go right. But leaders show who they really are when things go wrong. And not every decision will work out. That's just part of the game. You'll make mistakes. You'll wish you had more information. You'll learn that sometimes the hard way is the only way. But those are the moments that shape your leadership. You don't grow by avoiding mistakes. You grow by learning from them. You adjust. You recalibrate. You move again, this time wiser. Now there's a balance to strike here. A leader must not rush into every decision carelessly. Thoughtful decision-making involves listening, gathering input, weighing consequences, and seeking counsel when needed. But after that, a choice must be made. Because waiting too long, trying to please everyone, fearing criticism can paralyze progress. You'll never lead effectively if you're afraid of judgment. The key is to develop your internal compass. Know your values, know your goals, and then let those guide your choices. When you have clarity of purpose, decisions become easier. They may not be painless, but they become clearer. And over time, you build confidence in your judgment. So if you want to grow as a leader, embrace the weight of decision-making. Start with the small ones. Build momentum. And as your confidence grows, so will your capacity to lead in bigger moments. Don't be the person who waits for permission. Be the one who moves, who acts, who decides. Because leadership is not about perfection. It's about direction. People don't need you to always be right. They need you to be real, responsible, and responsive. They need someone who will step forward when others step back. That someone can be you. Make the decision. Own it. Learn from it. And keep moving forward, one bold choice at a time. Number 5, develop others. Leadership is not about you. If leadership were only about personal success, it would end the moment you achieve your goals. But real leadership, lasting, impactful leadership, goes far beyond your own ambitions. Great leaders don't just rise, they lift others with them. They create environments where others can grow, shine, and eventually lead themselves. Because leadership is not about being the hero of the story. It's about helping others become the heroes of theirs. One of the greatest examples of this principle was John Wooden, the legendary UCLA basketball coach. Sure, he won national championships and built an incredible career, but what made him a truly great leader was how he developed young men, not just as athletes, but as people. He focused on character. He emphasized preparation. He taught values like humility, teamwork, and integrity. His players didn't just leave the court better, they left life ready. And many of them went on to become leaders themselves, in sports, business, and life. That's what real leaders do. They multiply their impact by investing in people. Too often, people rise in leadership and think the spotlight should stay on them. But if you're the smartest person in every room you walk into, you're not leading, you're limiting. True leaders don't hoard knowledge, credit, or opportunity. They share it. They mentor. They coach. They build confidence in others. And when their people succeed, they celebrate them, not themselves. Think about it. Who are the people in your life that helped shape who you are today? Maybe it was a teacher who believed in you, a manager who gave you your first big opportunity, or a parent who encouraged you when things were tough. They made a difference not by controlling you, but by developing you. That's the kind of impact a leader can have. To be that kind of leader, you have to let go of ego. You have to be willing to see potential where others only see problems. You have to recognize that not everyone grows the same way or at the same pace. Some people need encouragement. Others need challenge. Some thrive with structure. Others flourish with freedom. Great leaders learn how to meet people where they are and help them get where they're capable of going. But here's the key. It takes time. Developing people doesn't happen overnight. It's not about quick results. It's about long-term impact. That means being patient, being available, and being consistent. It means offering feedback that builds instead of breaks. It means believing in someone even when they doubt themselves. That's leadership. You also have to model what you want to see. If you want your team to be disciplined, be disciplined. If you want them to communicate openly, communicate openly. People don't follow what you say, they follow what you do. Every day, in every interaction, you're teaching others how to lead by how you lead yourself. And remember, the goal isn't to make people dependent on you, it's to make them confident without you. Empowered leadership means giving people ownership, responsibility, and the freedom to try, fail, and grow. It means stepping back sometimes so others can step up. You'll know you've led well not by how many people report to you, but by how many people are better because of you. People who've grown under your influence. People who've found their voice, their strength, and their path. Because you took the time to guide them. One of the highest compliments a leader can receive is this: because of you, I didn't give up. Think about that. You can be the reason someone keeps going. You can be the reason someone steps into their potential. That's not just leadership, that's legacy. So if you want to be a great leader, don't just focus on your goals, focus on your people. Look for ways to serve them, stretch them, and support them. Be the kind of person who sees greatness before it's obvious. Help others rise, not just because it's good for the team, but because it's the right thing to do. Because at the end of the day, leadership is not about how far you go. It's about how far you help others go. That's what transforms good leaders into great ones. And that's the kind of leader the world truly needs. Number 6. Learn from failure without losing confidence. Failure. The word alone makes some people shrink, hide, or hesitate. But to a true leader, failure is not the enemy. It's a teacher, a builder, a necessary part of the journey. Every great leader has failed, not once, but many times, and not quietly. The difference is, they didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. You see, leadership doesn't mean always getting it right. It means growing through what goes wrong. It means falling, learning, adjusting, and rising again with more wisdom than you had before. Because failure isn't final, it's formative. The real loss happens only when you refuse to learn from it. Think about Thomas Edison. Before inventing the electric light,